My dad being a musician affected, definitely my decision making post high school, because I was more of an athlete in high school, and when I kind of came to a moment where I realized I didn't want to do basketball for the rest of my life, I turned to looking at what my father was doing, and my interest in music, picked up at that point. So in college, I was really focused on, music and music production. I could look at him and kind of understand that process, and look back on my years as a youth and just realize I'd been in studios and seen him doing things. So it was kind of like, it's easier when you see someone else doing something to kind of see yourself doing that as well. This is Akhe Abdullah, and welcome to my journey. I work at Elementz Hip Hop Youth Arts Center, and I am the program director of the center here. Growing up, I guess it kind of comes from growing up. My father, my mother were in two different worlds, kind of. I grew up in a middle-class home with my mother, and then kind of in a lower-class home with my father. So when I would go with my father to stay with him sometimes, because they were divorced, I would be around, the inner city community. And a lot of people in the inner city that I grew up with are in a lot of difficult situations, having kids, not having a lot of support system behind them, not being able to go to college, not being able to do certain things. So I've already had appreciation for just wanting to use my life to do something for those who are without, kind of through growing up that way. I think family life and community service was also boosted within me to do more through my religion. I became Muslim in 2005. My understanding of Islam is, submitting to God and giving my whole self to Him, and the gifts and talents and the relationships I've built and the resources that I've accumulated. I think that's, what I try to do here at Elementz is, I've chained in education, so I think, the values of just being God conscious, knowing that God is looking at you wherever you're at. It just keeps me in the mode of trying to be a role model. And I think young people, when they see me, know that I try to be consistent. And I think my religious values teach each individual Muslim to be like that, to set an example of what we believe to be the best character and the best role model for society, being Prophet Muhammad. And Islam is also about tolerance and creativity. There's tons of rich poetry in Islam, and expression. And so it's what goes on here. And I try to direct youth to telling their story in a conscious way. Tell your story. Don't tell someone else's story. Find your own voice. And Islam is all about that. Elementz is, a perfect place for me to try to, inspire young people to use their gifts and talents to tell their stories, and which would help, the outside world know really what's going on in the community. The next community event Elementz has is a night of storytelling and a dinner for members and parents in the community, and also our board and staff. So it's just a night to show appreciation for the youth that come here on a day-to-day basis. We started this 2 years ago with another organization called Hip Hop Congress.
Because when young people come here, they always say this common thing, like they find family here. So we just were like, how can we, strengthen that, keep that family tie going? And so this dinner was the way we did that.
I have, my first baby on the way, and I'm just excited about, my growth as an individual, and just being able to have worked with youth already. I think this is going to help me be a better father, and having seen examples of good parenting and bad parenting, I think I've been prepared indirectly through all these different things I'm involved in, and just ready for this experience. I think what's next for me is continue to prepare to be a father. I want to take Elementz to a level where it's more sustainable. I want to be more of an active Muslim, and I want people to know that I'm an artist. I've just kind of shunned away from telling people that I can make music and I can produce music, but in 2012 I want the community to also know that I'm a music producer, and I'm talented in that arena as well. Just want to do good things for Cincinnati and for the things I'm involved in.